Hello, friends. Here I am. I haven't been posting a lot. What I posted this morning, or I haven't posted, but I recorded this morning, and my camera ran out of space. And that's been an eternal little issue that I've been having because I don't have any way of dumping stuff. So I've been just getting my friend Tim, the computer wizard, web wizard guy, to who has, by the way, been with us since, like, I don't know, but he's the one that got us to get our website and email addresses and stuff when there was no such thing yet. I think it was just like students had their accounts online. You see a bug just flew in front of the camera there. So anyway, so Tim guides me through and we shuffle things around and I get a little bit more space and then I can record again for a little bit. So apologize. I do apologize profusely for that little technical thing. But I must also add that it's all part of this experience, so therefore it's valid, not to be hidden from. It's all part of the transparency, all part of the truth of my experience. But one thing I was thinking and talking about earlier was about this just slowing things down and the whole starting from ground zero, in our case, crash landing, I would call it. Metamorphosis, these are some of the terms that come to mind. Crucible, going through the crucible, chrysalis stage, and building from the ground up. And that's right here. From the ground up, I'm filling my raised garden beds over behind me, and get off that, away from the camera, bug. I was just going to say that what came to mind in some of my frustrations that came up this morning, I felt really good, then I had little things come up, and this is what's been happening, is up, down, up, down, up, down. And I could draw a parallel with choppy waves if I'm thinking of surfing. I'm not a surfer, so these may not be the best metaphors, but canoeing, I've done whitewater canoeing, so that's a good one as well. But you want to surf that wave, you don't want to get caught up in this choppiness, and the choppiness keeps coming. I can't stop the choppiness, so I'm trying my best to deal with each little chop as it comes, but not to get pulled into the drama of it, because if I allow it to, I'm going to have no energy left. I'm going to become annoyed, hateful, angry, like all kinds of emotions get pulled on. And I'm trying to avoid getting sucked into that. And I'm trying to keep in my equanimous mind, find that equanimity and kind of let go. And so I was mentioning about the chrysalis stage, and I remember reading quite a while ago, a few years ago at least, a whatever biologist that would be, that I don't know if she might have been an entomologist, but somehow related to the biology of insects. And it was this lady was, this scientist was a she. I remember that, but I don't remember names. And she was saying that the caterpillar preparing for the chrysalis is going through the motions, but when the time comes, the caterpillar in the chrysalis starts to get eaten by the process that is to become eventually the butterfly. But the caterpillar doesn't know. So the caterpillar goes through death struggles. And in some ways, I feel that is part of this process, is to be aware that you will get some confusion. There'll be times where you feel totally in tune with the infinite, with God, and at one and at peace and loving. And then there'll be little choppy waves that try to just kind of yank you out of that wonderful place that you're in, that blissful place. And that tends to be the pattern I notice in my experience. I'm human, I'm not perfect, I don't even pretend to be. But yeah, so I'm really working on not getting pulled into little things. worries, concerns. I mean, I have to consider them. They are real issues. Like, for example, my trailer home that I bought, spent a lot of money on secondhand. I was told by the company that I bought it from, Lazy Acres, that by the salesman actually, that everything gets gone through, fixed, worked over twice. Because I had asked, because I talked to some friends who were really into the whole RV thing, and they said, oh, check this, check that, check this, don't leave it up to them. So I mentioned this to him, and he said, oh, don't worry about it. We do an overhaul, fix everything once, and then we do another overhaul at the end. So I kind of let go and put my trust in what was said. And then I get the trailer, and I don't have I don't know a lot about trailers, so I'm learning as I go, so I can't say about a lot of the machinery inside. I'm sure everything is fine, and I bought a thing to download to go through and check. It'll walk me through a check through to be sure that I find out that everything is working before my warranty is over. That made me feel good. And that's not to say that I have a concern about Lazy Acres. I'm sure they are an amazing company. But now the situation I have at hand, this is just my experience. You know, I'm not overly concerned, but this is how things tug you in. While I'm busy working with this, that, and the other thing, and all these other concerns, getting the hydro put in, having ditches dug, trying to figure out my finances, can I afford this? I'll have to postpone the well, and so on. I am walking around, doing my stuff at the trailer, going to bed, getting up in the morning, and so on. And then I look up, and I notice there's little holes in the screen for the door, and I'm like, okay, it's a teeny thing. It would take me maybe at most an hour to get some screening and pull the stuff out and do it, you know, whatever. It was just that. And then I look up, and there's a strip lighting right attached and sewn into the awning that comes over for the shade. And then that's hanging off in two places. And I'm like, there's no way that went past them without them seeing it. But maybe it did. Maybe it didn't look as obvious, and it was coming off, you know, to their defense. And maybe the drive up here from the delivery guy, just the wind, maybe it was just the final little thing that tugged it loose. It's most probable. So my challenge was to not get worked up, was to just be calm, don't get threatened or defensive, and give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure they are going to be wonderful with this situation and circumstance. I don't know yet what they'll say, and I'm asking them. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, and this is my sort of teaching story as far as what I've learned is, you know, I'm asking them, is this not covered in your sort of overhaul fix-up? Are they considered little incidental things that you don't deal with? Or were they supposed to be fixed and you missed them? And whatever case, what do you intend to do about it? I'm learning how to discuss these sort of business matters with people without getting too wound up. And the hardest part, the most challenging part of all is when I have multiple frustrations from different sources, and switching from one frustration in a situation to another, making that phone call and not taking my frustration from the one to the other. And that's, I find, one of the biggest challenges so far. Or then in my case, you know, I find out from Raven that her pains that she was told just expect them, it's all part of the healing, like quite intense pain she's been putting up with after her hysterectomy because of the cancer. She gets all these pains and she can't tell what is what anymore because everything's been mixed around in here, and it's like the sensations don't know what they are anymore. So she's got to relearn what pain means what. Well, long story short, she found out she had a urinary tract infection, and now finds out that it's gone to her kidneys, and she's still waiting to find out. She's on some really powerful medication, and she's waiting to find out over time how much damage has been done to her kidneys. But you can see how the misinformation just unfolds. You know, uh, I was talking to someone in the field, and they said, "Well, you know, that's kind of her responsibility. Shouldn't she have gone in to a drop-in clinic when she first felt these pains?" And I said, "You got to remember, she was told to expect pains. They were not pains that she knows as a bladder infection or urinary tract infection at all. They were completely different, and combined with being told, just expect that. She didn't know. She had no guidance, let's just put it that way. And these are the things that can pull you in, you know, and you know, you get multiple issues and concerns like this to deal with, and it's a matter of, best term I can use is surfing these waves and not getting, like, dealing with them, dealing with the emotions. Obviously they're going to affect you because they are intimately part of your life, like in the case of my love for my wife and the care for her health. In the case of the trailer, which is going to be that which we depend upon to survive a winter. So of course I'm going to be concerned about things falling apart, but I'm also got to be concerned that I don't exaggerate out of fear that everything's, you know, coming apart or something like that. So I have to really check myself and manage my way through it. Luckily, the weather's been fantastic. Here I am, I'm filling the raised garden beds with all this lovely soil that my friend Terry left. And tonight, when the sun's gone down, I'm going to transplant all my lovely vegetables that I bought from Gerber Nursery, which is Killaloe, kind of Golden Lake area. What an amazing experience I had going there yesterday, and I got some really cool plants, including one little lilac that is super dark and smells wonderful. So I'm trying to prepare this sacred space for my love for Raven, and some of the things that touch her heart the deepest are our chickens. She loves our chickens. When she had her brain tumor, and she was before being diagnosed with it, and then after, during the healing, the chickens were her therapy. She would just sit there and feed the chickens and hang out with them. And ever since, the chickens have made her happy. So, lilac, garden, chickens. She loves tiger lilies, or daylilies in general, the smell and the look of them, but we had to leave those back in Fergus, and I won't get those again because of the lily beetle. It was just insane. I spent sometimes 5 hours a day just trying to kill them. So I don't have any intentions of bringing those into the area, although I would like to get the daylilies, whom a wonderful lady who used to be our optometrist, who's now passed away, bless her soul, because she was really something else. She also raised and sold, I think that's the right term for the generic daylilies, the ones that tiger lilies are part of that family. And now they have, what she told me, they have, and she showed me, they have these lilies that look exactly like the Asian lilies, except they don't smell, or not as much. But they're just as beautiful, and they don't attract the lily beetles. So I would intend eventually to get some of those. I said to Raven, maybe I get one nice smelly daylily, and that one we can keep the bugs off of, just for the smell, and have the other ones for the look. I'd have a lot of other, I want to get other flowering trees, probably next year. I want to get lots of berry bushes, fruit trees, and other flowering trees. I just want to turn this into just a gorgeous garden, enchanted forest, just a place that you walk into, and it just takes you away from all your worries and concerns, and the engagement of your senses just takes you on a journey, a wonderful journey. So that's what I'm working towards. It's worth it to me, and at the same time I have all these little management things to do, and trying to, because I want good energy to go into what I'm doing as well. I don't want frustrated, angry energy about something going into the soil, going into everything around me. And here I have all my plants all on top of the, I should show you, on top of the, hang on, just unplug it. There we go. So on top of the car here, I've got all my, well, most of the plants that I bought. And here we go. There's a whole bunch I have down over there. And there's all my 11 raised garden beds that you might have seen in previous videos when I was filling them up. And I just finished filling them now, and I'm just going to fill these veg trugs from Lee Valley. And then I probably call it a day as far as filling them. Then once the sun is down a bit, I'm going to start transplanting my veggies, which I'll do a video while I'm doing that and identify what I've got. My sister is an amazing gardener. Actually, both my sisters are. So I'm being assisted at a distance. So this is my pile of soil left. It's probably about halfway through. I had 3 yards extra, and I've got to clean that out, get it out of the way, because Dougie is coming tomorrow at 8 to dig a ditch to drop all this hydro stuff in. So that'll be exciting for me. I'm sure not for Dougie. This is just an average day in the life of doing this kind of stuff. But for me, it's a big, big thing. And it also means that I can drive back over this area when I work and stuff. So I hope some of that helps anyone else that's going through difficult times. I'm just going to, each time I post a video, I give you a little bit about what I'm going through and anything I've learned through the process as I go through it. So we'll see where it gets me. So back to my shoveling, which is what I've been doing all morning in between making phone calls, receiving phone calls. I guess kind of reception and laborer all at the same time. And I've got to remember to drink water. And I have electrolyte water mix with sea salt and a little splash of maple syrup and lemon. And I've been drinking that. And I've also got to remember, this time goes by so fast, I have to remember I ate breakfast, a good full breakfast, but I do have to remember to eat a dinner and not too late. So how I'm going to organize my time on that, time is moving. I want to eat, plant my plants, and then I want to go over to my neighbor and get my dog food. I might say transplant my dog food from the freezer that's over there in the garage. Now that I have my hydro, I can now fill the freezer over here. And then I don't have to bother them as much. Let them have their privacy a little more. Although I still have to go over for my chickens, which is a whole other complicated thing, which we won't talk about at this point. But hopefully that all settles with a few smiles and happy words. But it may, as you know, human beings, may not be the case. But my chickens, that's another thing. It's food security, and it's also my enjoyment, but most of all, ravens. And I feel that I'm being held back from, well, I am. I don't feel. I am being held back by that person from moving the chicken coop, which we had agreed upon. And now it's getting into the nitty-gritty legal stuff, and I've got to find out, did something get slipped past me while I was so distracted with the COVID lockdown, my wife being sick, trying to heal, the back and forth, the sporadicness of everything, you know, the DocuSign, only seeing things expanding and scrolling around on my phone screen rather than looking at things in person. So yeah, I was very distracted. So I need to find out what is legal, what is not, because I'm having my chickens held hostage in a less than favorable situation and environment, because they're sequestered in a very small area, which they're not used to, and they can't get out of the sun unless they go in the coop, which is really hot. So I feel it's extremely inhumane, the situation, and I'm trying to appeal to that person's compassion, really, both for the birds and for my wife's healing, because for some reason they know, obviously, that means a lot to me, because that's why they're hanging on to it. But anyways, this is my challenge, and I meet it fully face on. I'm not complaining about it. I'm going to do my best to make it as smooth as possible, but I really don't know how it's going to unfold, to tell you the truth. You know, is the chicken coop worth lawyers being involved? I don't want it to go there, but you know, it's not even the cost of the coop. It's the fact that I put 3 years of my time renovating the interior, insulating it, putting special protective mesh, metal mesh in between the walls, so that our predators can't get in, can't gnaw through, to prevent weasels and stuff. And then it's just a customized chicken coop with all my memory and energy in it, including little jotted down paragraphs and thoughts and epiphanies and things that I wrote while I was making it, and have, you know, just whatever came to mind. I'd just scribble it down on a piece of wood that was near my head or hand or something. So it means a lot to me, and this person is holding it hostage along with the chickens, and their story changes all the time. So I'm hoping to come to some kind of a balanced agreement, a little bit of compassion here and there, and that, you know, things can end in a nice, amicable way. I don't like tensions. I don't like distractions. I don't like having to feel used or angry or whatever. So we'll see what we can do with that. Meet each thing as it comes. I've got to remember to call the well guy and postpone that. And actually, I probably should today because it's Friday. But anyways, I am going to say goodbye for now. And then when I'm transplanting, I will do another video. It's actually kind of exciting. This is my new upgrade level of gardening. Last year, I grew tomatoes in the home hardware buckets, and I grew like kale tomatoes, Swiss chard, a few odds and ends, and it was okay. The kale and Swiss chard grew the most. Tomatoes were hard and they split a lot. I mean, there were some that were okay. Chipmunks would eat a bite out of them and then leave the rest. That was annoying. And there are a million chipmunks here, so I'm definitely going to have to start figuring out ways of putting stuff to protect the gardens as well. So we'll see how that unfolds. Ow. Damn black flies. Okay, folks. Love you all. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Please leave some comments. Give me some feedback. Kind of gets lonely out here, if you know what I mean. And just like to know anyone else is doing something similar, or just finds this interesting and wants to do it themselves. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, push the like button, subscribe, and as I said earlier, if you feel like it, leave a comment, please. So, ta-ta!